And there's different ways to utilize different platforms, but I would say that's the biggest thing. And so my next one's just a picture, but basically, if you're not on social media right now and you're doing real estate, you are missing a huge opportunity. That is where people are. That is the easiest way to connect with people. If you're trying to do your business on the cheap, that is the cheapest way to connect with people because it does not cost any money. So just a couple of stats. A lot of agents, so if you guys do follow me, I know a lot of you mentioned that you do. I do not pay anybody to do my social media. I do it myself. I spend, at the beginning of every month, I spend 2 to 3 hours on the first of the month, planning my entire month. I go into Canva, I design my templates, I decide what I'm going to talk about. I schedule it all through Facebook because you can schedule through Facebook. It will go on your Instagram. Then if there's something that I think is relevant to LinkedIn, I'll share it on LinkedIn. I'll share it on my story. So I spend 2 to 3 hours at the beginning of every month preparing for the month. I use a paper calendar and I use a pencil, and that's where I draft what I'm going to talk about. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be every day. But if you do that at the beginning of the month, when you get busy or when you have other stuff going on, you're not going to forget to do it. And it also really helps because it gives you, it kind of helps you get your playbook for what you're going to talk about. Because here's the thing, like in real estate, there's not like 500 topics. There's not like some super innovative thing that you can talk about because we're all going to talk about the same stuff, And so it's how you present it to people and how you come across to your people, not all people, your people, that makes the difference. So after I do that initial 2 to 3 hours every month, then I will go on throughout the month. And if I have like something that's really timely, like, so last night, if any of you guys follow me, you probably saw I serve on a commission in Carrollton, and I was at our citizens evening, and they gave out all this really awesome information about cool stuff coming to Carrollton, about residential developments in Carrollton. I took a bunch of pictures of the slides, and then I did a post where I just like highlighted some of the cool things. And then I shared pictures of the slides about all the developments. Contact me if you want to know more. So I'll kind of put a placeholder or room in my schedule for stuff like that, or for closing pictures, or for listings, or for offer accepted, because I think that's something important to communicate right now because not everybody's winning. Right. And your clients need to know that you're a winner. But so just know that initially 2 to 3 hours, then I give myself, another maybe, hour for those more timely posts every month. And then I spend a lot of time engaging. And that is going in, if you post something and somebody likes it or leaves a comment, if you comment on it, it shows up in more places. So that's just what you have to know. You can't just put something out there and not engage. You have to engage in what you're posting because that's how you get more people seeing what you're posting. Make sense?
Yes.
So,
one question real quick in there.
Yeah.
When you say you schedule everything, are you doing that in command at all, or you just go to Facebook and schedule?
I do it straight through Facebook. Now I will tell you guys, I've tried a lot of different things, and you have to do what works best for you. Facebook is where most of my people are. I'm starting to get a lot more on Instagram, but I have found the friendliness. Facebook is very user-friendly. So if you have a business page, which if you don't, you should go create one today. You can go into publishing tools and you can schedule a whole month. You can schedule stuff for Christmas if you want to. They don't care. I used to use Later, but I found that to be a little cumbersome because it would disconnect your accounts and you'd have to go in and reconnect it. So you'd see stuff posting and then it would quit posting. But so my main 2 platforms are Facebook and Instagram. I'll occasionally post on LinkedIn if it's like an award or something that I want business people to know about. Twitter, I have a Twitter, but I don't really do a whole lot with Twitter because that's just not really where my nephews are on there because they're getting recruited for sports. But like for real estate, that's just not where the action's happening for me. So definitely block time. We're supposed to be time blocking. We're real estate agents. That's how we're supposed to run our lives. Block time every month to do this. And I'm telling you, all these like headaches and the stress of what am I going to talk about? You don't have to worry about it all month. You only have to worry about it one day a month, which will make your life a lot easier.
Quick question. Is Publishing Tools a separate app or is it within Facebook?
No, it's within Facebook. So here, I can actually, if you guys want, if you guys are cool with me just being flexible on here, I can show you where stuff is too.
If you post on your business Facebook and then it goes into your personal, or
I'm gonna talk about that. I'm a church and state person when it comes to to Facebook, but Instagram's a little bit different in how I do that. So if you go into your Facebook business page, this is my Facebook business page. Over here where it says publishing tools,
oh,
right there. And I have not done my March yet. That's why you will not see anything scheduled. But all you do, so this is everything I've scheduled in the past.
where do you see publishing?
On the left side,
Drop down menu.
I'm not on, it's not on this page, it's on, here, I can go back. So see right here, publishing tools. Do you have a business page?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna, you got that, Doug, I'll keep going.
Yeah, no worries.
So here you can see, you know, everything I've posted. You can see that I schedule everything. It tells you your reach, your engagement, all that kind of stuff right here. So if you were going to create a post, you just hit create post. If you want it to go on your Instagram, you click Instagram, connect your Facebook and your Instagram. It'll make your life a lot easier. Then you type the text, you can add pictures or whatever you want to add. And then down here, like when you're ready, I don't know if it'll let me do this.
That's my personal.
Okay.
You can schedule it. So see where it says publish, if you click the arrow next to it, schedule's an option, and you can pick your day and time when you want it to go. Super easy. I do not want to post that. Yes.
Do you have any recommendations on, and maybe I missed this, the time of the day that's the best time to post?
It changes all the time. So I have tried different things. And I think for me, what I've realized is there are certain times where my people engage. So I know Thursday afternoons is when I typically post like anything about listings or that sort of thing. They say that first thing Monday morning is not a good time. I've found sometimes a howdy first thing Monday morning gets response from my people. I've played around with it. Sometimes lately I've been getting good return when I post at night. Because, you know, what do we do when we sit around and watch TV? We scroll on our phones and, you know, so like last night I posted, I think it was pretty late. It was like 8:30 or so. And I think I got like 30 likes in like 20 minutes or something like that. So it just depends. So I would just watch the trends of your people. But typically when I'm scheduling, if you look here, you can see there's a lot in the 14s on the time. So that's around 2 o'clock. You know, there's a couple later.
You mostly just an ask or your personal,
This is my business.
only business.
So here, I'm gonna get to this, but I do not flood my personal page with real estate. Because if I do that, are my people gonna follow me? I unfollow people when they're selling Rodan and Fields and all that kind of junk, because I want to know about my people, not about the new skin cream. People don't want to see a bunch of houses. And we're gonna talk about that too, like what to post. It's not a bunch of houses. Because again, you have to make your content unique to who you are. Because people could go to Zillow and look at houses. They could go to realtor.com and look at houses. You have to have something that stands out. That's not just the same thing that everybody else posts. And it's about kind of, if you think about it from the standpoint of you're curating unique content that fits who you are as a person. Because people don't care.
That's for your business or your personal?
That's my business.
No, that's
My
what-
personal, like it's my kids, it's what I'm doing. And if I want something that I've set on my business page to go on my personal, I have my husband share it and tag me.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
It's real easy, you know, like, so that way you're not,
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'm not flooding my own feed. My husband shares it and says like, so proud of you, Darby, or, you know, like whatever. He doesn't do it on everything I post, but like, you better believe after the awards, I mean, your hubby was super proud of you, right? Like, he should post that and tag, check in at your business page and tag you. Because I know for me, like, so my business page, I think I have like just under 1,800 followers on my business page. On my personal page, I have almost 5,000 friends. So who do I want to see my stuff? Your personal page. But I don't want to flood it to the point where everybody unsubscribes, because you can unfollow people. And I just feel like a lot of times my stuff's going to be more likely to be seen if I keep it separate. And then that's where your stories come in. And we're going to get to all of these, I promise. I know it sounds like there's so much to this, and there is a lot to it, but it's not as complicated as it seems. And I think that that's part of the thing, is a lot of people think this is super complicated, and it's really not. So here's just, if you guys like stats, if you need me to convince you why you need to be on social media,
One step at a time.
here's why. There are 3.5 billion users on social media. 73% of marketers know that this is either somewhat effective or a very effective form of promoting your business. Facebook is the market leader. So 68% of people are Facebook users. And then 54% of social browsers use it to research products. So for example, say you're looking for a plumber. A lot of people, instead of going to Google, they'll now go to like Facebook or Instagram, or they'll look up a tag, or, that sort of thing. So this is almost turned into a search engine for people, which is important, because that's another opportunity for you, depending on the information that you have in your profiles. Here's just a couple more. I mean, some people are stats people, so I always like to throw this stuff in. A lot of people talk about the customer experience on social media. That's why it's important that you're on there. If you think about how many of you guys are in local groups to your communities where you live, right? So like, I live in Carrollton. I've lived in Carrollton for 20 years. On Carrollton, Texas Chatter, anytime somebody posts about a real estate agent, I have a bunch of people in there, and they all start tagging me. So that's, again, the recommendation piece.
I am very aware of that every time. I know, I was just telling someone that this morning, maybe it was Sally. I used to just say, who is this Darby?
Okay, so you've seen it in there, but so again, this is something else, which we'll get to it, I guess. But the thing is also, how do you respond when you get tagged? So you probably noticed how I respond.
Yes.
I love it. I love the person that posted it. And then I'll say, I really loved helping you and your family find your dream home. Thank you, or whatever. I never say, hey, call me. Typically, when I get 3 or 4 recommendations, that's when I send a message to the person that posted it. And at that point, I usually just say, hey, I noticed a bunch of my friends tagged me in a post that you made on Carrollton, Texas Chatter. Just know that I'm here if you need anything. Like, I don't really even talk about what they're looking for, what they're trying to do. I'm just like, hey, I'm here as a resource if you need anything. And then they usually end up connecting with me, and we do something. But because everybody in those groups starts posting their business card and like all this stuff. So it's important on social media. You've got to get like your street team, almost like your rabid fans that will always tag you in those posts, because that's made a huge difference for me. And I've gotten a lot of business from that too.
So in Carrollton, which is your main farm, right?
Uh-huh.
So you are in the Carrollton parents groups or Carrollton neighbors groups?
I'm in a lot of different groups.
So what groups are those? And also, are you in next door, or what other places to target your farm are you at?
So it's not it's not really, I wouldn't call that a farm. It's just, I've lived in Carrollton for 20 years. I've sold, like, there are neighborhoods in Carrollton where I've sold 30% of my business in a single year. And I usually sell 40 to 50 houses a year. So people will recognize my sign, they recognize my name. And so a lot of times in these groups, it's not even groups that I'm active in necessarily. It's just when somebody tags me, like, hey, I need somebody to help me buy a house. Hey, I need somebody to help me sell a house. I will go in and like and comment. Because if you like and comment, people see your stuff more, And so, for example, if say Victoria lived in my neighborhood, she was a member of Carrollton, Texas Chatter, right? And she hadn't seen the post yet because I was tagged and I replied in there, it would show up on her feed. So your people will see it if you go in there and engage. It's all, all the different platforms have algorithms and they pick up on behavior of the people that use the platform. So, and on Nextdoor, I am on Nextdoor. I feel like Nextdoor is a bit of a hornet's nest myself, because that's where everybody gets super pissed off about stuff. And I do not, I engage like I do in these other groups where it's kind of like, thanks for recommending me, love working with you, but I am not in there giving an opinion. And that is another thing I will say. In everything that I do, I know we all have strong opinions about things. Nobody I work with knows what I think about anything. They all think I think what they think. I don't post anything political. I don't post anything controversial anywhere on social media. I obviously have views that I care about, but I don't want to only be the person that works with this political affiliation, with this religion, with this person. And if you express your views on social media, whether it's your personal page, your business page, wherever, people will pick up on that and you will lose business from that. So I am Switzerland and I highly recommend that you be Switzerland. You know, obviously, like if it's Christmas, I celebrate Christmas. So I post my Christmas card. A Christmas card is not a controversial political opinion, right? You know, saying, you know, go Brandon or whatever, you know, like that's a controversial political opinion that you should not put on social media, because people that don't want Brandon to go will not want to use you and will probably unfollow you. And typically that is what I do when I see, regardless of what people think, I usually will unfollow ultra opinionated people in general, just because it's kind of like the Rodan and Fields. I don't want to see 500 eye creams. I don't want to see 500 political posts. Like that's just not what I'm into. So think about what you would want to see and go from there. So.
I like going to the range. I like rifles. I like guns.
Yeah.
Except I've got so many California people coming in.
Yeah.
They're here for Texas, but man, the opinions that they have on some of these things.
Yeah.
So I don't post anything about my hobbies on that one.
Yeah. And I mean, and it doesn't mean that you can't like something. It doesn't mean that if you have a client that's into something you're into, you can't have a discussion about it. Just remember, this is a public platform. If you're on a business page, it is a public.
I want to chase anybody off that is offended by rifles or firearms.
Yeah. And I'm not saying don't have beliefs and opinions, 100% have beliefs and opinions, but just, you know, talk to your girlfriend about it over a margarita. Or you know, your buddy over a beer. Don't put it on social media. And I'm always surprised when I see real estate agents do that, just because I don't know, like, because I just know who I work with, and they are very opposite ends of the spectrum. And I could say something that would offend somebody, so I just don't say anything. And it's obviously worked for me, you know, like not to say anything. So I really do believe that. So we talked about recommendations. And then I think this is really important too. Who is on social media? So millennials are older. They're buying houses now. They're not like the little, you know, college kiddos that they were at one time. That's 90% of who's on social media. And then you got Gen X and the boomers. So, you know, these are all people that we know have the money to buy houses. So they're going to be on there. So you should be too. And then, so this is an important thing. And I mean, I know sometimes I even do more than this, but you know, the average person spends 3 hours a day on social media. That is a lot. That is a lot. So just think about the opportunity and the audience that you have on these platforms. So I know it's a lot. I would like to spend, you know, and honestly, I am always like with Lent right now, I'm always so jealous of people that give up Facebook for Lent. Because I'm like, oh God, I would love to get off Facebook. But I know if I like stepped away for 40 days, I would lose business. So I can't, you know, it's like, this is just something I have to do. So, okay, so I'm going to give you kind of my few reasons why you need to be on there now more than ever. And I think with COVID, we really realized that this is where we can connect, right? Because when we couldn't see people in person, we didn't have all of our meetings and things to go to. This was a huge thing. Your audience is online, so you have to join them. Super basic. Social media is a place to connect and build trust. Can you guys see all my stuff? What's that thing on the side?
Yeah.
We can hide this. See if we can hide that. There we go. That's fine. It's a place to connect and build trust when we've been in this age of social distancing. I mean, I know things are opening up a lot, but you know, still a lot of times we're not having the big gatherings even now that we did at one time. But you know, I am hopeful that it will get better because I've just launched a VIP group that's all about that. So fingers crossed. Again, the influence of decision-making is big on social media. It's an opportunity to build and cultivate relationships with future clients. So, you know, you have people on your friends list that aren't your clients now, but they could be. And so this is just a way for you to build trust and build your relationship with that audience. Again, you have a platform, share who you are and what you stand for as Switzerland. It gives you an opportunity to find new people because, you know, how many of you guys get a request from a friend of a friend or somebody like that all the time? You know, it's like that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever, you know, it can go really, really far if you think about it in terms of social media. It's where your customers are talking about you. And this is the point about being tagged in groups. People are going to bring up your name anyway, so you need to be there to engage and receive it so you get the most out of it. And it's also a place to learn more about your people. So yesterday I was in a mastermind with with top producers from all different brokerages. And one thing that one of the ladies in my little discussion group mentioned, which I have never even thought of this, which I thought was really awesome. So she is a big handwritten note person. And you know, you think about, well, what do I say in a handwritten note? You know, I don't want to say, hey, do you need to buy a house? You know, like you don't say that. But, you know, say you see one of your people got a new dog. So if you're just dropping a care card in the mail and you're like, hey, I saw your cute new dog. That's so exciting. You know, can't wait to see him grow. Or, you know, somebody gets a grandbaby or, you know, something like that. It gives you something to talk about. So what she does, instead of replying on social media, she sends a handwritten note, or every time she gets to a stoplight, if it's yellow when she's pulling up, she knows she has about 60 to 90 seconds. She records a video and she texts it about what she saw. What a great way to connect with your sphere. And I hadn't thought about it like that because, you know, I'm always worried about, oh, God, I gotta reply to all these people, you know, but that's a great way to connect with your people. So, you know,
She doesn't like it or anything, so she's not, at that point, doesn't care about the
yeah, so
algorithm.
she's more,
Straight in for the kill.
she's more about making the personal connection. And it's really just kind of like the touch point. She says she writes 3 cards a day and she drives every day. So she says she usually sends 4 or 5 videos a day, just based on what she sees on social media. So think about that. If you were to touch 5 to 10 people a day, either with a card or a video that you send through text about what you saw on social media, what do you think would happen in your business? I thought that was genius. And the other thing she suggested, which I'll share this tip. So the cards that she sends them in bright envelopes with fun stickers. So they stand out in the mail. So, I mean, yeah, these are just like, it's not like anything different than what you would do. You'd still go buy an envelope, you'd still mail a card, but she makes it noticeable when it comes through, which I thought was super cool. And then again, place to engage with your audience. And then the other thing is you can put whatever you want people to know about you out into the world, and it just keeps going and going and going even further. So get on social media if you're not on there. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, there's so many platforms. Where do I need to be? And my advice on this is always you go where your people are. First of all, like I said, my people are mostly on Facebook. I'm starting to see a big jump with Instagram because, you know, all of us old fogies are figuring out how to use Instagram. And then, you know, I have a lot of people on LinkedIn. I don't do as much on there. I don't do very much on Twitter, but this kind of tells you how many people are on what platform. So if you're wanting to like get the most out of it, go to Facebook first. That's what I would say. So this is something that's really important because, you know, like I said, I live in Carrollton. I've lived in Carrollton for 20 years. I do a ton of business outside of Carrollton, but, you know, the only hashtag I have about a city is Carrollton. You know, the only time that I really promote like details about city stuff, like what I mentioned that I shared last night about the event that I was at, is when it's in Carrollton because that's where I live. You know, because if our goal is to be the local expert, that's what you need to do. So just remember, your goal is not to do business with everybody, because I think about how wide that net is. Your goal is to really focus on your people and who believe in you and what you believe. So, and that will help you really, I think, hone in on your communications and what you need to be saying if you think about who you're talking to. Because if you're talking to everyone, your message is super general. But if you know who you're talking to, like, you know, if I know I'm talking to moms, and it's the first day of school. You know, I know every mom wants a $50 Target gift card because we just went there. We can't get out of there for less than $100 anyways. It covers half of our purchase. So if I give away a $50 Target gift card on a back to school giveaway, I know that the majority of my audience is going to love that. So it really just helps if you know who you're talking to. So if you don't know who your people are, how do you find them? Here's a few tips. And these are all things that we've talked a little bit about, but you know, obviously think about who your ideal client is and start targeting those people and connecting with them on social media. It may be somebody that you know from a group that you're in. You know, you may have a Bible study, or you might be on PTA, or have other room moms, or people that you see at the golf club all the time, guys. I know I'm talking a lot of the mom stuff is really how I've built my business. So that's why that's really important to me. Then, you know I start to on Instagram is more about following. So I'll follow people in my target market that I know of that might be influencers or that are known in the community. You've also got to look at your audience insights. That's some of the statistics that, I mean, you guys saw when I was scheduling that post. You can see who's looking at your stuff. It's right there. Yeah, Brandon.
This is gonna show me, but on the Instagram side, do they have a business? And I don't do Instagram. Do they, or are you posting it regular there?
I post it regularly, and I'm going to show you what I do on there too. Yeah, I keep it super simple because I think if you start creating specific content for different platforms, it's way too much. You
So
just
Facebook, we want to separate it. Instagram is go.
Yeah,
We'll get-
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so then the other thing is, you know, on social media, you can also collaborate with other people. So if you have a lender you work with a lot, there's an opportunity to do that. If you have title people, if you have, I know I've done stuff with interior designers, different stuff like that. So there's ways to collaborate, and then you get your audience and their audience. You can do giveaways with them. You can bring them on and interview them. You know, I know that I've interviewed lenders, I've interviewed interior designers, I've interviewed warranty people. I've interviewed people that do just about everything, because then once it's shared to their page, you get all of their people, and then they'll start following you too. So, and then again, the most important thing is they need to get to know you, who you are. Why should they like you? Why should they trust you? So the ultimate goal is to be likable and trustworthy. This is a quote that I loved, and it is, I don't know if you guys have read Thinking Fast and Slow. It's a great book, but this is a Nobel Prize winner in economics that wrote this book. But she said, people would rather do business with someone they like and trust than someone they don't, even if the likable person is offering a lower quality product or service at a higher price. People want to work with who they like and know. So I think if this is kind of, if you keep nothing else I've said today in your mind, keep this in your mind. I'm not saying go be bad at your job. We want you to be excellent agents. I know Nick's sitting there like, oh my God. but we want you guys to be good at your job. But I know a lot of you that are newer and just getting started in this, you don't have to be perfect, right? You just have to be approachable and somebody that people could see themselves working with. Because we all get better the more business we do.
It's a great picture.
Thanks. But I mean, don't, in that picture, I look like somebody that you'd like sit on the couch and have coffee with. And we'll talk about photos too, because I'm real big on photos. I invest in brand photos because I think it makes a huge difference. And you don't have to necessarily spend money on the shoot to get good photos. And that's just, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. Okay, so let's talk about the specifics of the social profiles. So these are all of mine. These are not current state because I didn't have time to update all of that. This is from the last time I did this. But if you look at these, what is something that you notice about all of them?
They're all consistent.
Same picture, no?
Yeah.
Colors, yeah. Colors, the picture.
It's clean. That's the thing I know.
Yeah, you notice my name stands out on all of them. You know, and then if you notice my description,
Yeah, it's.
wife, mom, friend.
Yeah. it's just-
So if you think about that first slide I did, like, hey y'all, I'm Darby. I say it all in my profiles too. So on this is my personal Facebook. This is my Instagram. This is my LinkedIn. That's my business Facebook, and that's Twitter. So if you went to if you went to a different platform, you would be able to find me because it's recognizable. So that's one thing that you could go do today. If you have a different picture on every platform, make it all the same picture. The other thing on this is your naming. So keep your naming consistent. It's funny, when I first got started in real estate, one of my really, really good friends, she's like a director of marketing for big companies and stuff. I'm like, what should I like name my thing? And she's like, your name is Darby Merriman. There are no other Darby Merrimans in the world. Like, you don't have a common name. So, you know, I get it if, you know, you're like John Smith and you need to like change that up a little bit, but really use your name because you want people to want to work with you. The other thing that I recommend is you focus on the first 2 lines of your bio and you make them count. And this is where you have a chance to connect with your audience and get your personality across. So again, what are the things I want people to know about me? And Instagram's a little bit different. You notice I start with where I am because I feel like that's the most important thing, because on Facebook, you can see where I am. On Instagram, there's nowhere to see where I am. And the same on Twitter, where LinkedIn says Dallas, Fort Worth, you know, so you want to identify your location, because if somebody just stumbles across your stuff, you don't want them, you know, you don't want them to disregard you because they don't realize you're in Dallas, and that's where you can help them. The other thing is you want to keep your bio consistent, but adjust based on what's appropriate for the social platform. So you notice there's no little emojis on Facebook because it doesn't let you have them. On Instagram, you know, but on Facebook, you also get a cover photo. You have a photo front and center. So this doesn't need all the stuff. Instagram, you don't get as much. So it's good to have the little emojis there, and the same on Twitter, because you want yours to stand out against everybody else's. And obviously I would not put emojis on LinkedIn because that's for business. Okay, so now we're gonna hit the branding stuff. Oh, well, and one other thing before I move on. Have any of you guys heard of Linktree?
Yes.
Okay, don't use just a website. Put a Linktree as your bio, because you can connect your website, all of your profiles, everything on there. It's free. So if you click, I'll show you guys what my Linktree looks like. But it basically is a way to take your people to a lot of different things. It's my linktree.com/Darby Merriman, I think. Hold on, let me see what mine is.
I think you got an extra period in there.
Oh,
Took it out.
oh yeah, I did.
That's right, yeah.
Wait, I don't know where I
See that?
I'll send it to you guys if I can ever find it. Oh wait, there's no .com. Never mind all of that for that.
Of course.
Of course it's like that, because this is technology, guys. So there's all your platforms. So I think this is where the difference between just a product and a service and what branding really is. So, you know, a lot of people think your brand is just like a logo and pictures. A brand is an active, living, breathing thing. It is not a, you know, like it's a verb. Let's say it's a verb. So the definition of branding is it's a set of defined emotions conveyed through visuals and messaging that is woven through everything you do and present to the public. As Jeff Bezos from Amazon says, your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. So this is reputation. It's basically everything that you put out there. And that's why it's really, really important. So your brand tells people a few different things. And this is what your brand should tell people. So, you know, again, flooding your newsfeed with pictures of houses is not building a brand. People need to be able to get to know you, not what you sell. It's two different things. Because we all sell houses. Why would somebody want to work with me instead of you, or you instead of me? That's what you have to show people. It's about who you are and the problem that you solve for them and how you solve it. What's it like? You want people to get an idea of what it feels like to work with you from what they see on social media. Okay. And so that said, you need pictures of yourself. I know some people don't love pictures, but you know, we live in a world with Lightroom and filters and just use the same one every time. You know, don't like give yourself like the cat lady filter and, you know, post it or do whatever, you know. So you need to have your face in your feed. That's really, really important. And so here's some differences between a brand and a business. You know, I feel like in real estate, we're always told, you know, we're business owners, you know, we do all this stuff, which we are, but what you're conveying to the public through your brand is different than the business that you run. So your brand, it's the identity you project, the foundation of how your business is perceived. It focuses on people feeling something when they see your stuff, building relationships and experiences, where again, this is kind of like the active versus inactive. So the business is the products or services you offer. It's the foundation for your offerings. We're driving sales and we're talking about products and services. So these are two completely different things. They can complement each other, and that's what good branding does. But I think you just have to remember that your brand is who you are, not what you sell. I got to pick. And so these are, so talking about pictures, these are some different brand images that I have. You can tell it's me in all of them. You know, even though I'm wearing different stuff, but that's what my pictures look like. And if you want to know who my photographer is, I'm happy to share it. She's
Are those different times, or do you take different?
all the same day. I take pictures once a year.
Really? Do you really every year?
Once a year. I just did my brand shoot a couple weeks ago. This one was my last one. I did this in November of 2020. I just had a new one done.
Really?
Yeah. So I usually do an outfit a month. If you look at my social media, that's kind of how I pick my pictures. So this month I'm in this outfit because it's spring, you know, or like it's winter. So I'm going to wear my black sweater right now. And, you know, and you can reuse them because if you think like, you know, around Christmas, even though my brand colors are navy and gold and white mostly, I'll do a little bit of like dark green and maroon with the gold. Like I'll switch it up a little bit. And when I put that with myself in the black sweater, it doesn't look like the same picture. And when I like to float stuff on the wall. So like, you know, when I do my brand pictures, I always like there to be space around me so I can put words up there and I can point and do all kinds of stuff. So if the words are different, people don't notice the picture as much. So little tip. So I use the same pictures for 15, 16 months.
I use 15, 16
Yeah,
years, so you're good.
Well, here's what's really funny. So I just did my new brand shoot. And I loved my outfits so much in this because they worked. I mean, not that I was like, oh, these outfits are great, but they worked really good on social media. So I was like, I really kind of want to wear the same stuff, you know? So I did like an all black look. I did an all white look, you know, and I want it to match my logo and everything because I care about that stuff because that's just how I am. And so, you know, a lot of my new pictures look a lot like my old pictures, except for I look way older and it was after COVID. And so I have like 20 extra pounds, but like you really, I mean, they look similar but it's my brand. So it's not going to change a ton, you know, because I haven't like switched to like hot pink or anything like that. I mean, it's still the same colors and I want it to be consistent. I don't want it to be completely different. I also recently just changed my logo because I'm kind of switching to team mode, not quite there, but I'm working on it. And, but you don't really notice I changed it. My last name's in a different font and it says real estate team instead of realtor. But like, you wouldn't know it unless you really looked closely at it. Because I don't want anybody to see like this big thing, like you make a change, like I made some massive change to my business that they need to be concerned about. Does that make sense? So then if I was gonna give you a checklist on what you need to do, and so I'm gonna give you a really quick, cheap cheat on this, is we have Ann Yarbrough in this office. I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, Ann and I have been best friends for over 10 years. Ever since I got into real estate, she has always done my logos, my branding, everything. Guess how many times she does this? One time.
Who was it?
Ann Yarbrough, our marketing concierge.
Oh,
So and I went to her to get pricing on this before I came in here. So if you don't have a logo, you need a new logo and a whole brand kit, which is what this is, it's $300. That's $300 she'll ever spend. If you already have a logo, it's $150 and she'll tweak it and give you this. She will give you the fonts, the color files, everything that you need. Then what you can do is you can go into Canva, load it all in there, and then you have all your complementary colors for everything that you post. It is literally the easiest thing in the world. And it gets everything looking consistent and cohesive. So again, and this is actually from a company called Heart Media. They said these are the things that you need to do. But basically, when you have a cohesive brand, it clarifies your vision, talks about your niche. You have the same fonts and colors, logos and avatars. It also goes along with the posting schedule, what you're conveying to the public. I mentioned filters and I saw some laughter, but you really do need to use the same filters because you don't want to do like a super dark filter and then like a super light and airy filter because you want it to be cohesive with your brand. And then you want to be consistent on what you talk about. But again, that kind of goes back to the thing at the beginning and then the information I have on all my profiles. I talk about the same stuff. Like I always celebrate National Drink Wine Day because I love wine. So it's okay to tell your people you love wine. If I'm traveling, I'll always share a picture of a house because I love to travel. I love houses. So you can do all that kind of stuff through your business pages, but just be consistent and find what works that people want to know. So if you don't know Ann, meet her. She's here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. She doesn't stay all afternoon because she's part-time, so if you want to catch her in the morning, but she is amazing at what she does. I can tell you that since I've been in real estate, I've been on a big team, I've been a duo, and I've been by myself, and she's done my stuff every time. And it's always worked. If you go back through my Facebook, you can see all my old stuff. It's like buried in there. I've never taken it down because I figure it's like a historical account of everything. So then let's talk about how we show up on the platforms. So if you've been in my stuff before, you've seen the mullet. So I feel like the mullet is a perfect description of some things on social media. So on Instagram specifically, I don't have two different Instagram accounts. I mostly, if you guys can see, I post my business stuff to my Instagram. I may wish my kid a happy birthday or something on there on my main feed, on the actual posting. So think of this as like business in the front. Mullet, business in the front. My stories are the party in the back. That's where I'm showing the behind the scenes. That's where I'm out showing houses or out with my friends or doing whatever. The same kind of goes for Facebook. Like I said, I do not post business on my personal page. If I want something I post on my business page to be shared, I have my husband shares it and tags me. I will tag myself occasionally in something that might be like relevant, like if I'm doing a giveaway, I'll tag myself because I want more people to see it. But for the most part, 100% business, 100% personal, unless somebody shares and tags me. Instagram, this is mostly business with sprinkling of personal. Stories or the party in the back. Twitter, I don't do a lot of Twitter, but I just put it up there. LinkedIn, I'll only share something like an important business announcement. So like I said, I shared information from the awards we had. Anytime I get like Real Producer Top 500, D Magazine, anytime I win an award, I put it on LinkedIn because business people want to know about that stuff. But I don't send them like, here are the spring color trends for your house, because on LinkedIn, that's just not what those people want to know. Any questions about this?
So you only have one Facebook account?
Yeah. And here's the thing, so my Facebook account, my personal account is a profile. My Facebook business page is a page. So that's different. Does that make sense?
And the Instagram, you have a personal and a business or just
This one.
personal?
Yeah. Well, it's all I really post on there is business. I think you had stepped out. So on Instagram, my feed is mostly business. My stories are the party in the back. So that's kind of more personal. So here's another little thing that I do. So my Instagram is connected to my business page, but my stories go to my personal Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So this is something I realized that was way better because, if you think about it, so like if I post, like, so say I did this post on my Instagram. If you guys follow me, I always share what I post.
Yeah.
My story. So if that story gets shared to my personal stories on Facebook, if somebody clicks on that, they still get my business post, but it's not on my feed where it's flooding their timeline. Because with stories, you have to actively engage in that. And you can click through them real quick if you're not interested. So that's like kind of a little tricky way that I sprinkle a little bit of business into my personal is through my stories.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? So then I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of statty stuff on this. So, as I mentioned before, you need to go where your people are. My people are mostly on Facebook and Instagram, so that's where I do most of my stuff. So Facebook is used by 97% of real estate agents. And again, you need a profile and a page on there. Facebook is best for real estate agents who wish to allow the human side of their business to be seen in order to build relationships, to turn potential clients into loyal customers. And it's also good. There's a lot of Facebook groups, if you guys aren't in these, where you can share your listings and really find listings and stuff like that. So definitely engage in the real estate community on Facebook. So the purpose of a Facebook business page is to strengthen your customer loyalty. You can do a lot of targeted ads through this. You can also publish listing related updates, that kind of stuff on there. I don't know how many of you guys have seen my ad that I have running right now about your home value. I've seen some people like it. If you're not using that stat, that is like the best stat to use right now. The average homeowner, and I think the study went out in December, gained like $56,700 in equity in last year.
And where was that stat from again?
I can send you, it's an article. It was
Wasn't it in Keeping Current Matters or something?
Keeping Current Matters pushed it out, but it ended up going, the stat was through, I think it was like something with mortgages.
Okay.
It tracked mortgages, but it's a really, really good stat. I think I reference it on that, but I mean, and I can send that article out after this class, or I'll post it into the KW Plano Facebook group, but it's a great stat. It's kind of like the idea, again, that mastermind group that I was in yesterday, one of the things they talked about was, like your current estimated value versus what you paid for it. And, kind of taking the golden letter to a different standpoint where you're like, this is what your house could be worth in this market compared to what you paid for it. You have equity, where it's not just about you selling, but it's also about, why don't you invest that equity in building wealth and buy something with me? So, that's a whole other thing. So with Instagram, it's used by 39% of real estate agents who use social media. And this is typically one profile, like I said, where you mix business and personal. Stories are the behind the scenes. So this is where if you're out showing a house, do a story about it. If you see something weird. Well, and here's the other thing, you don't want to, I think the toilet paper wreath was in our group. Was that in our KW Plano group where somebody posted toilet paper wreath? We see weird stuff in listings all the time. The nice thing about stories is you can put it there and it's gone in 24 hours. So you can get some notoriety, but it's not like in your forever digital footprint. It disappears. So if you want to share something weird without identifying information about the property or whatever,
Or keep it in your history feed.
Yeah, or hide it out or whatever. So with Instagram, it's best for real estate agents who have a younger target market and wish to focus on sharing their business through high quality visuals. So this is where the brand photos matter. You want it to be beautiful on Instagram because your grid needs to be looking good on Instagram if you're going to post a lot there. And there are a lot of people that do Instagram that don't really have anything in their grid. They just do stories. So you don't have to have a bunch of stuff. I know my daughter, I don't get it because I'll go to hers and she'll have a full thing and then she'll have one picture. I'm like, what is this? And she's like, no, Mom, we don't keep pictures on our Instagram. I'm like, all right. Don't get it. But so I mentioned, so another great thing that you can do on Instagram is hashtags. This is where you can really leverage your hashtags. So if you think about what are the top hashtags, and you can look this up and do all this stuff. Real estate, realty for sale. You can make yourself more discoverable on here. So you see my hashtag is Dwell with Darby. I put that on everything I post. If I click on Dwell with Darby, I can see everything I ever posted since the beginning of time. But you also, it's a really good place to share testimonials, that kind of stuff too, is on his. And you can do that again through your stories or through videos. And I'm going to talk a little bit about video stuff here in a second too. So I mentioned that I share Instagram stories from my personal Facebook profile, and I do that so I don't flood my feed with business, basically. LinkedIn is used by 59% of real estate agents who use social media, and it's best to connect with other agents. So this is not where you're going to go find your next client typically. And you want to establish yourself as a trusted leader in an area. It's also a great recruiting tool if you're looking to build a team or recruit agents, get people to Keller Williams Plano in your downline so you can get your profit share. LinkedIn is a great place to do that because it's more about industry, not, finding clients. And kind of like I said, what I'm sharing typically on LinkedIn is, I got this award. I am an expert, like you just want to build your reputation on there as an expert in the industry. So one great thing you can do on there is you can join community pages to network with other agents. You can set up a company page on there where you can share your website. You can create a showcase page to promote your blog posts on LinkedIn. So if you're somebody that really likes to write informative, market updating, very professional articles, LinkedIn is a great place for that. And you can also do sponsored updates to expand your reach, just like you can do sponsored posts on Facebook and Instagram. One really great thing about, and I'm not going to talk a lot about ads today, but one great thing you can do through Facebook, because I showed you guys how I schedule everything, you can boost a post and it'll show up on Facebook and Instagram, and it's super cheap. The budgeting is really easy. I've tried to run my ads through Command and through different things. I find that it's the easiest just to run it straight through Facebook. So that's just a tip. And I'd be happy to show you how to do that if you were wondering. And I mentioned I don't post a ton on LinkedIn. It's just kind of where I share the big news I want my network to. So Twitter, it's used by 33% of real estate agents who use social media, and it's best for people that small bite. I have way more to say that I can say in 140 characters, but if you're pretty succinct with what you have to say, Twitter's your spot. And again, it depends on where your people are. And if this is more about announcements, timely updates, that sort of thing. You can also post really quick updates on your listings there, share photos of neighborhoods and homes, and build Twitter lists to keep track of your important connections on there. But like I said, that's my least used platform. Yes.
Have you thought about getting into like TikTok or know any other agents who are like on TikTok? Because I was reading some stats to where basically you have about things like up to 18 more months before the algorithm changes, before you can really start growing your following, before it becomes more of a an older social media platform. So
I've thought about it, and my kids think I really need to be on TikTok, but I don't really. I get it. I get what it's about, but I think my people aren't really there. But if you ask Ann, our marketing person, that's where she gets all of her news is on TikTok. She's constantly on TikTok. I know some agents who have really gone viral on TikTok, but I feel like a lot of it's less informational from what I've seen from real estate agents. More entertainment. But I will say, this is not somebody in the real estate industry, but there is somebody in this area using TikTok at a very high level, and it is the superintendent of Terrell ISD. And if you want to look at what she's doing on there, so she was the associate superintendent in Carrollton, where I live. She took that job, and she is the subbing superintendent on there. So if you think about everything that's going on in education right now, and so this is like, if you could figure out a way to parlay real estate, go look at her stuff because it's really awesome. So basically what she realized, she'd been delivering Sonic to all of her campuses, and the teachers were like, wow, we really, really appreciate this, but we really need help in the classrooms. And so, she's a mother of 4 boys. She's still got a kid that's in school. She was like, okay, well, I'm going to commit to subbing once a week on our campuses. Okay. So as she's subbing, she's recording her day. She's talking about, today I was a 7th grade choir teacher. She's not showing the kids, but she shows herself singing, this is what I did. She shows herself at home talking about kind of debriefing, man, this was really tough. these teachers, really just like showing her teachers that she knows what it's like to be in their shoes. Well, so what's happening though, is guess where the destination now for a lot of educators in Texas is? They're going to Terrell. She's advertising on the ticket. She is getting tons of people showing up at all of her recruiting events. So again, not in the real estate industry. And I didn't mention this, but if you want to come up with something unique, when we have so much that is topically the same, look at somebody in another industry that is using a platform at a high level and how are they using it, right? So look up the subbing superintendent on TikTok. That is the best example, I think, of somebody that is using TikTok in a really good way, providing really good like life story, telling a story. Because here's what, if you think about it, she's not just telling her story as a superintendent that has decided to sub once a week. She's telling the story of her district, of what the culture is, that even though she is the highest position in that entire district, she is so engaged with what's happening in the classroom that that's how she's making decisions about what she's doing for her teachers. Why wouldn't you want to go work there? So how could we convey that to real estate? But I definitely go look at her. I know that was a total segue, but so TikTok, I see a place there. I just don't know for me how I could use it. But if you could find, I think if somebody could find a way to use it and use it really, really well, there's a huge opportunity there, because I don't see anybody in the real estate space outside of people that do more like of the transformational, like before, you see some of that kind of stuff. I don't see anybody in real estate using it at a really high level. So opportunity. That you're going to be teaching a class on TikTok. But go check out the subbing superintendent. I mean, it is pretty awesome. So then let's talk about how do you attract the people that you want to be in business with, that you want to be working with. Client attraction is really important. I know that when we think about clients, we probably have somebody in our mind who is our ideal client. So how do we do that? So first, you have a clear offer and message. You understand your people and you are able to speak to their situation. So, I know there are a lot of people in this office that specialize in different price points and things like that. I'm luxury qualified, but like last year, my cheapest house that I sold, I think was like 190,000. My most expensive was like 1.2 million. I do everything. So most of what I speak to is kind of middle of the road stuff, because I want everybody to want to work with me. But again, that's about understanding my people, because not everybody I work with is the $1 million buyer.
Right.
And I'm a believer in units, because you can make money if you just have more units. You also have to make them feel special and catered to. You have to stand for something that matters to them. And I think I'm old school, but I really believe that one thing that we can all stand for is service to our people. And if that comes through in everything that you do, that it matters to people. It really, really does matter to people. You have to build the trust and the credibility. You have to get seen in the right places. And then you have to stay on brand and on message. So again, what are the things about you want people to know? Pick 5 things. And then, anything about houses, we all talk about that stuff. But, you have to let people see who you are too.
Sorry, just wanted you to see there's 3 people asking questions. I don't know how old they are. I just noticed.
Sorry, people online.
Oh,
Thanks. Oh, wow, that's like a crazy looking thing. The lady that sends out her note cards, bright colored envelopes and cute stickers. Super. Yeah, Nick's gonna go buy some right now. Somebody already got that. So we're good. You guys ready to move on to content? Sure. Yeah. Okay, how are we on time? We're good. We've got 30 minutes. Okay. So I know this is where a lot of people get hung up on what do they talk about. And there are so many things to talk about. Because I've already, think about it, what we've talked about already. We've got all the housey stuff, we've got decorating, we've got the things that you're into, I talked about community stuff you can talk about. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, but you just have to decide what you want to talk about. So here are a bunch of different posts that I do. This kind of shows some different examples of the kind of things that you can post. again, I did not update this. This is from last year, but I feel like it's all still pretty relevant. So this was awards last year. This was my most liked post of 2021. You see, I had 681 people reached
Wow.
on that, 90 likes. People like to celebrate your successes. And it's not like, oh, I'm so great. You know, like that, it's all in how you say it. So like if you read what I said, you know, I said last night, Keller Williams Plano hosted a virtual award ceremony to celebrate the achievements of our nearly 400 amazing agents in 2020. I had zero expectations to receive any awards or recognition since 2020 was my first year as an individual agent and with Keller Williams Plano, but I actually won some things. And I listed out what I won. And then I just said, you know, thank you in honor of this. This is what I'm going to do for you, which I didn't do it last year, but I did just launch it last weekend, finally. But be on the lookout for more information, you know, that kind of thing. So I always, you know, and I think if you think about what Keller Williams is about and all the things that we talk about all the time, we want to come from contribution. We want to show gratitude. We want to do all these things. That's what you need to convey in your post, because you don't want to say, oh, I'm so great. But if you want to say, thank you, because of you supporting my business, this is what I was able to accomplish. That sounds a lot different than, oh, I'm so great. Then this is this was on my personal page, but you remember the then and now challenge. This was just a silly little thing. I got 200 likes on that. You know, this is an example of what I do when I get an offer accepted. You know, or I have a listing. It's all pretty standard, but you know, it's a logo. It says what happened. These are some videos that I did on Instagram.
Quick question, what software do you use to do those postcards that you post?
The postcard?
Like offer accepted, Darby?
Canva. If you don't know how to use Canva, learn how to use Canva. It's like, I have a professional account. It's $100 a year, but you don't even have to have a professional account. And if you, a few slides ago, when I showed you the brand thing,
Yeah.
that is a screenshot of my Canva. All of my brands are loaded into Canva. It does it all for you. It's super, super easy. And I can show you, if we have some time, I can show you how to create a post in Canva. It's really easy. Then this was a video series I did. I do a home seller boot camp once a year. And I just talk about something small every time, 5-minute videos. And then I do like it on Instagram TV. I share it on my feed, and then I share it on my stories. And then I put it on Facebook. Another thing that you can do if you're just looking for something to do related to your stories is a day in the life. I don't know if any of you guys have seen me do a day in the life where I pour my coffee in the morning and I show you what I do about every hour and a half all day long. Sometimes it's me like running a kid to school. Sometimes it's me like going and putting a lockbox on a house. Sometimes it's me walking into a listing appointment. But I try to do it on a day where I have a lot of stuff happening, because otherwise, you know, you don't want to be like on your couch in your leggings, you know, but that's a really good way to get engagement. And, you know, at the end of it, I'm usually asked like, who wants me to do this again? And everybody says, yes, I love it or whatever. You can post your reviews and do it with a picture of yourself so they know it's you that did the work. This is just, you know, 4 tips of things you need to do before you put your house on the market. That's when I got a real producers thing. And then that's a market update. And we all get like 1,000 of these in email every month. You can even just share that if you want to, but I would recommend that you brand it. But that just kind of shows a lot of that's like what one, that's a lot of different stuff I'm talking about there. Not all on the same day, but this is all within like a month, you know, within a month, I may have posted all these different things. So it's not the same thing over and over again.
The testimonial where you have your picture and your logo, that's in the Canva professional one?
Yeah, well, so,
Dropped it in.
so what this is that's one of my brand photos.
Uh-huh.
Slap that on there, my logo, add that on there, add a text box, type it in,
Okay.
save it.
Easy.
Super easy. Yeah. And this is just a picture of me. And then I slap the Real Producers logo on there. If you guys saw my promo posts in the KW group, every time I do a photo shoot, I take like chalkboards, canvases, they are blank. I add words in Canva. Like I didn't know I was going to be teaching this class today at 1 o'clock when I did my photo shoot, but there are fonts that look just like the letters that you put on those boards. But so it looks super custom, but it's not, you know, and so I think that's the big thing. But, you know, this was done in Canva and you just, you know, slap a box on there, throw some text on there. Canva is awesome because it can make everybody look like a graphic designer. And what I usually do, if you need some stuff templated out, and again, Anne can set up templates for you, create templates for you to use in Canva. You pay her one time and they are there and you just change the stuff.
Is Canva part of Command?
No. Okay, and I will say, you're supposed to be able to do a lot of this stuff in Command, but I've never used Command a whole lot. Like I don't use it for my database or any of that stuff, but Canva or Command does have a lot of design options and things like that. I just personally find that Canva is more user-friendly. Personal preference, but Command.
Too, right?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, like with the pro account, you like say that you want a picture of a white kitchen. It's not gonna be a picture of you, but you want it to show different kitchen designs. So I want a white kitchen. I want one with like the browns. I want one that's like moody and blue. You can look up blue kitchen, white kitchen, and the pictures are free if you have a pro account in Canva. There is also a lot of stuff in Canva that is not part of the pro version. If you don't want to, if you're trying to watch your budget right now, you don't have to have a pro account. I know Victoria had said that for her, she wasn't using a pro account, but there's a ton of stuff in there. So with the photos, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So like I said, I do brand shoots usually once a year is my plan. I know not everybody is that. I mean, you have to be very organized. You have to have your whole plan. Like I have a list of every shot I want to get. Not everybody thinks in that type A way like I do. But another thing that you can do is I believe brand shoots, I will just say they're pricey, but they're worth it for me, but you have to be fully committed. And so if you're not, don't do that. A less expensive option, I tried this for a couple of months, but I found it to be too much for me. There's this thing in Dallas called FemForce. It's a subscription service. It's $99 a month. They do locations, a different location every week or so. You sign up for your location, you take 3 outfits. They have like this little tent pod that you can change your clothes in, take your pictures, they send them to you. They are raw, unedited images. So you will have to use like airbrush or Lightroom or, something to just you, because some of them you're like, you look at your face, you're like, oh my God, do I really look like that? But that's something that's really good to do too. And it's one of those things that's a month-to-month service. So if you just want to get some professional looking pictures, you could even just do it one time, cancel it. I did it twice, canceled it because it wasn't for me. Because I didn't like to see myself doctored up. And again, like I'm used to doing these big brand shoots. So I was putting way too much time into a monthly photo shoot. It's like, okay, I need to get the 3 outfits. And like, what am I going to say if I, it was more than I needed to do. But if both of those options, so FemForce is $99 a month. About the same as a brand shoot. Brand shoots are usually about $1,200. The ones I do are about $1,200. And I use them once. So if you can prepare for one a year, do it. If not, the $99 a month option is good. Or if you have a friend that wants to go follow you around, there's a lot of places with really cool walls, like go down to Legacy West. They have seasonal setups there. Go into the parking garage where it's a brick wall behind you. Downtown McKinney has a bunch of really great walls behind the buildings. Just like take an outfit, a couple of jackets, and you can switch it up down there too. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it. Again, the reason I like to is because I like to be done with it and not have to think about it for the rest of the year.
Darby, can you share how many pictures you get in your brand shoot? Just do it like off the top of your head.
I mean, a couple hundred.
Okay, that's
A
great.
lot. And so in this last time, because I do have Amy, you guys have probably seen cute Amy with the little pink hair. She's my client care person. She went, Teresa, who shows for me, she went, we all 3 did it.
Great.
Yeah. And so if you have a team, you can take your whole team down there. My preferred lender, they've taken like 20 loan officers and done it. If you want to see just some cool things they did, they all wear just bright colored t-shirts with the logos on them. And the core team of USA Mortgage, they have a lot of really cool brand stuff that they've done, if you just want to look them up.
Is it a local in studio?
So I go to the Lumen Room in Plano is where I've done it. Huh?
What's the name of it?
The Lumen Room. So the photographer books it.
Oh.
And I meet her there, and I mean, they have furniture there, like, the couch I'm sitting on or the desk is in the studio, like it's all there. But like, so for example, I took my computer, I took that plant, I took that book, the one where I had the wine, I took the wine glass, I took the wine, I threw the pillows on the couch, like I take like a big Rubbermaid bin of accessories basically. But I probably should make a checklist of that so I could send it to you guys to give you some examples. But one thing that she's done that's been really awesome, and her name is Lauren Bethany Photography. Lauren Bethany. One thing that she has just started doing that was different from the last brand shoot that I did is she does a call with you where she has a Google Doc. And when you're talking, she talks through the props, she talks through all that stuff. So all you have to do is print it out and pull everything. Nick's like thumbs up in it all over down here. So, and that's the thing is like, because with brand photography, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, there's not a lot of people that do it and do a good job of it. And she's somebody that does do a good job of it. She does not send you like everything like the FemForce does, but I will say she really wanted me to like pay her $15 a picture to edit it, which I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So some of the lighting wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. But then I just sent it to Ann and I said, hey, Ann, can you batch edit to adjust the lighting of these? And she's like, yes. She clicks 3 buttons in Photoshop and it's done.
Really?
So I'm telling you guys, if you're not utilizing Ann, and I know she's starting to pick up a lot because I know she's doing a lot of stuff for people here. She's getting a little bit of a waiting list. I mean, not just because she's my friend and I think she's super talented. I mean, since I got into real estate, she has helped me with my stuff. And it has always looked really nice, even when I wasn't experienced. I didn't know what I was doing because I looked like I did. So I'm a big believer in that. Okay, so let's see. So what could you go do now to get started? And then we'll get into the content planning because we will have a few minutes for that. So if you do have social profiles and they don't look beautiful and cohesive, go do an audit of them. This is also something that Ann offers. She does do social audits where she'll go in and tell you what you need to fix. I don't think she's done a whole lot of that up here, but I know that was on her original service plan. And one thing you can do, change out your pictures, update your bio, your header, your logos and colors. If you are not friends or connected with people on the different platforms, do that. The other thing is if you have a business page, go invite all your friends to your business page. They may not join it, but invite them at least. Doesn't hurt anything. And then I know all the platforms are really overwhelming. So a great baby step is to pick one and start showing up consistently. That's what I did. So, in 2019, it was my year to get my life together on Facebook. And then I realized, oh, well, I could just post the same stuff on Instagram. So I worked on that all last year and really getting better at my stories. This year, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out like what my goal about this stuff is. I need to do more video. But I will say during COVID, I got really comfortable with video because that was the only way I could really connect and communicate with people because I'm used to going to meetings and having that avenue to connect with people. But stories are a really good way to dip your toe into video because they go away in 24 hours. They're not expected to be perfect. You don't need like high production to do it. And then if you can do, a 1-minute story, why can't you do a 5-minute video talking about what you need to do to get your house ready to list, or how do you prepare to buy your first home, or how do you get ready for spring by spring cleaning or whatever. Those are all real estate topics. So you could go do that. You also need to find your voice. What do you sound like, and start sharing. And that is one thing, a lot of people do farm out their social media, which I understand leverage and you need to be able to do that. One thing I found for me is there's a certain way I talk and I write and people know it's me. And so that's why I held on to that. And plus, for me, I don't love the transactional part of real estate. I like this stuff way more than I like, selling houses. But, I'm good at selling houses and it means I get to do this. But I think part of the reason I have the business that I have is because I do this. You know what I mean? So, but just find like, what do you want to sound like? What's your tone? Get your little thing. Like when almost every post I do starts with a hey y'all. And I'm not like a super southerny person, like if you hear me talking, but that's just what I say. And so people are used to hearing that. And then again, sell the problem you solve, not the product. So if I go and look at all of your social medias, I don't want to see only houses. I want to see your faces. I want to see you sharing information. And then you don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up. Okay. All right. So if we want to talk content, so of course, you know, since Anne's my person, I think you guys may have realized that. I went to her and I was like, so didn't you create some stuff for the office? Because I was like, I think I need to get a calendar just so people know what to post. She's like, oh, well, I did all of that. This is stuff we have in the office for you. So, one of them is, this is what, 16 social media post ideas. Right here, and I'm gonna give you guys this. And then here is a 5-week plan. So here's everything you need to do the thing.
Is that the one with the holidays and stuff like that?
No, this is a, so here, I'm gonna pass it out. So you guys can see it.
She had one with the holidays, like,
Yeah,
like Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And people always, oh, thanks, Tish.
yeah, and she didn't, and I don't know if that's part of what she's regularly doing. I think she just did it for that time of year.
Yeah, it was like last fall or something.
Yeah, but I mean, literally with this tells you exactly what to talk about. I mean, this is like, I mean, and again, you can do it for yourself. And I'm gonna pull up Canva here in a second and show you guys how to do some stuff, because it's super, super easy. You know, you can use Canva for your newsletter, for the elements in your newsletter. And all you have to do is pop them in. I just started using Flowdesk. In all the years I've been doing this, I have never sent out like a real newsletter until last month. And we did it in Flowdesk and it's beautiful. And like, you know, so easy. So before we get into this, does anybody have any questions about any of this stuff? Oh. Here, I'll let you guys know. See what the peeps on here are saying.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Like your colors are navy and gold. Did you have to get that approved by marketing?
No, and so here's the beauty of Keller Williams. You can be an individual here. You don't have to, so one thing that I will tell you is there are guidelines related to the size of Keller Williams in proportion to your individual logo. You have to follow that. That is not this office rule, that is a Trek rule. I know because I got my signs flagged before because my KW wasn't, not while I was here, Nick, it was before I came here. So before I was here, I was with KW Denton, even though I've lived in Carrollton forever, but my old business partner, she was like she had a lot of haters. And not because she wasn't a great person, just a lot of people that she beat for listing. So we had somebody report our signs truck. And so that's how I know that Keller Williams has to be at least 50% of the size of your individually branded logo. But here's the other thing, you know, I truly do believe that Keller Williams is important to my brand because I can't tell you how many listing appointments I go on. And because we are a big company with a lot of agents where people ask me, oh, well, do you know so-and-so in San Antonio? Well, that name sounds really familiar. I'll have to go check my my connection list to see. But you know, I mean, I believe Keller Williams is valuable to my brand. And you know, you just need to make sure you're following the guidelines. They are super flexible about it. You know, like I know I have a lot of variations of my logo with colors and stuff. But my main one is I use the dark gray, which is an approved color through KWRI. Those documents online. Krista, if you email me, I will send you those because Ann emailed them over to me. So, and she has them, so pop by and see. I'm sure she'd love to see you. Is there an extra by chance?
And we're short on.
Sure. Can I borrow yours?
Yes.
I'll give it back to you. Okay, so first let's talk about the post ideas. I'm sure we all read professional development books, right? At some point. So on Instagram, a great way to come up with content is so like James Clear, he wrote Atomic Habits. He puts a lot of really great quotes on his page. You can also follow Keeping Current Matters, Inman, tons of different real estate stuff. There's quotes everywhere. A quote is a super easy thing to post. Super, super easy. So that's a good quote idea. Again, behind the scenes in your business. It doesn't have to necessarily be a story. You can post yourself with a lockbox out showing today, you know, or hold the keys up. I mean, that's behind the scenes in your business. Celebrating a win, you know, letting people know that you had an offer accepted. I know earlier this week we had an offer accepted and I did a post. I always do like the offer accepted post, but then now I put like we won flashing the sticker from the story because that's a big thing if you're able to win and you want people to know that you won. You can also this is a cool thing too. Like if you have other co-op agents or other people in the office that you like to work with, Lindsay Knight does a really good job of this. You know, like if she's teaching anything up here, she always posts pictures and tags the people in it. That's something great to post about. But if you look at the post ideas, there's not, I mean, none of this is like super personal, but there's a way to personalize everything on here with your face or you doing something related to this. Quotes are a great way for people to get to know you without you telling anything, you know, because, you know, like if say there's an Eleanor Roosevelt quote that you really love, like I love that one about the tea bags, women in tea bags, you know, that you never know how strong women are like tea bags. You never know how strong somebody is till you put them in hot water. Great quote, you know, like, so you can say different. Yeah. But so, you know, you can tell a lot about somebody by the quotes that they like. So, you know, those are just some different post ideas, but, you know, I would love for us to have a little challenge, you know, to follow this 30-day challenge. If you guys would be up for that, we could do one where let's do it. And I do have, I last year when I taught this, I added another Instagram class afterwards that I did because people really wanted to do Instagram, but we could always come back and, you know, do like a part 2 if you guys wanted to after we've done the 30-day challenge.
Sure.
But do you guys want to see how I do things in Canva real quick? Would that be helpful?
And Darby, while you're loading that up, I do want to say one thing really quick about Darby's methods and how she does this. I took a class from her about 9 months ago. I've been focusing mostly on Instagram.
You're doing a great job.
Rolling over into Facebook. So far, I've had two closed clients from Instagram. And then I just picked up a third over Christmas just from the Instagram. And they were either past coworkers or past people in my life that I hadn't heard of in years that gave me leads that converted.
Well, and one cool thing about this, like if the idea of getting on the phone freaks you out or sending like those bomb videos or like really like connecting, social media is a very passive way to lead gen. Where people are seeing it, you know who's seeing it. If they're commenting, you have a reason to talk to them. It's not like the scary, somebody's gonna scream at me and hang up on me, cold calling. It's a very, this is a form of lead generation. And this is a big form of it for me. It's funny, you know, because I do get stuff off of social media too. I had a first last week. I had somebody call me. I had no idea who they were. They had made an offer on one of my listings and lost. But I asked them how they found out about me. They're like, well, we made an offer on your Sun Creek listing and we lost, but we've been following you on social media for a while. And, you know, we're due with the baby in June, but you know, we kind of bowed out of the market in January, but we decided we want to give it one more shot with an experienced agent. And you know a lot about a lot of things.
There it is.
Boom.
And here's the thing. They don't know how many houses I've sold. They don't know anything. They just see what I'm saying on social media because she said she followed me on Instagram. So, you know, for the newer agents in here, you don't have to have sold a gazillion houses for that to work for you. You know, I remember, you know, like my first rainmaker on the first team that I was on, he used to always say time on task over time. And I was always like, wah, 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 wah. But I mean, it really is like Instagram and Facebook, like all the social media stuff. It really is that, you know, if you are consistent and you don't have to post 5 days a week, even if you just post 3 days a week, consistently post 3 days a week, you will see a return on it. And I also really believe, and I think Doug can attest to this too, just because of what he's seen happen for him in the last 9 months, stories are where it's at. Because stories are real-time updates, and that's what people are doing late at night.
I get this, but this is actually coming from my wife. She doesn't like the stories because they don't last.
Yeah.
She can't go back and see them again. So I know that that's where a lot of this is going, but I still have trouble not thinking of that as it was just such a one-shot thing and then it's not gonna last.
And I think that's where
more evergreen stuff.
And that's where I think you can do both, you know, so like, for example, I mentioned like I share my posts on my stories, but it's still a post on my thing. You know, you can also do highlights. So for example, I just launched my VIP trip this weekend at the Gold Club, and I created a highlight for the Gold Club, which shows everybody opening their boxes. so that way people can go back and see it. But I get that, I think some people are either they're scrollers or they're stories people. I feel like most Facebook people are scrollers, where Instagram people are stories people.
That makes sense.
So let's get into Canva.
Both.
Darby,
Yes.
I have a question.
Oh, Sally. Oh, wait, here's my link tree, by the way. Yeah, here's link tree.
Oh.
So yes, Miss Sally.
Okay, I'm just, help me with people's attention span, like, is it short, long? How?
And that stories are for the people with a really short attention span that want small bite information. Anytime you're doing a video, you don't want it to be more than 5 minutes, generally speaking. So usually what I'll do if I do, like say I want a home seller boot camp, I have 5 videos I do. I do the same 5 videos every year for that, where I talk about the same thing 5 times. But it's about a pricing strategy, about preparing your home for pictures, about preparing your home. It's all the same stuff. I say it a little bit different every time, but if you go and look at my Instagram TV, the same videos are on there. 'Cause I'm
So
saying
you're saying that if, like, you're gonna cover 5 things, pricing your home, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Okay, you're gonna cover 5 things. And we're talking about 5 minutes. You do 5 1-minute posts, or you do 1 5-minute post with all those on there?
if it's easy to separate, I would do small bite.
Okay.
Yeah, but on that home seller boot camp, I have 5 5-minute videos about one topic per video. So I deep dive into each topic, where the story might just be like, okay, today I'm going to talk about this. Tune in from a video kind of thing.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. So here's what is awesome about LinkedIn or Linktree, is I've got my website, I've got my home valuation on here, join my mailing list. I always do freebies. You can also create those in Canva, which is wonderful. Like every month I post a homeowner checklist on the first of the month. That's really easy. If I'm planning out my month, I know the first homeowner checklist. I'm also going to change my header on my Facebook page. So there are certain things I do at the beginning of every month that give me changes. But the 12-month checklist is all of them together. And so that's an opportunity for people to request something from me. I get their information, they go into my database. So freebies are to build your database. So I have that. I have the home seller boot camp also has a PDF, 3-page PDF freebie with it. I also have a home buyer one. I have different ones. I'm not really promoting home buyers right now because it's a tough market for buyers. I'm all about listings right now. So, and then I also have the links to all my socials on here. But so get a LinkedIn, they're free.
So
Or Linktree.
just another platform?
Yes.
So this is just a place for you to house all your links. So like if you.
Oh, you're not publishing that anywhere. That's just for you.
No, that's the link that's on my Instagram, is you go to that page and so there's my website. Here's my valuation page. And I just switched to Brevity and I love it, by the way. Here's my mailing list. So this one, because you're only allowed to have one link in a lot of the social profiles, this is a way for people to go to this one place and get to all my stuff. So there's my Facebook, here's my
It's
Instagram.
like a big business card.
Yeah, it's like a business card.
That's one they just gave.
Oh, and here's my gold club. So if you want to see like, oh. So here's some examples of stories. So I launched my gold club. So this is just examples of what you can do on a story. And there are people getting them. Lady that made the cookies, making the cookies.
It's amazing.
And these are all my clients that got them. And so they're posting all about them.
Oh, those are cute.
So that's just free advertising because that's going to all their peeps.
Those are cookies.
Cute, huh? So where the idea for that came from, there's a great book called Perk Your Sphere. It's like a Kindle reader. It's like the smallest little book ever, but it was written by a KW agent and it's the playbook for starting a VIP program.
Say that again.
Perk Your Sphere.
Perk.
Perk, P-E-R-K, Perk Your Sphere. And I've been wanting to do that for like 2 years and I finally did it. Okay, so let's go to Canva.
Darby, did you reshare the screen?
What was that?
The screen for the Zoom people, like resume the share?
Oh, resume to share?
Yes, like words are.
That's weird. Maybe it was only showing my PowerPoint. Let's see if they're even on there anymore, because we're kind of busy. Yeah, there's still 4 people on there. Okay, so in Canva. It's not letting me just share
How do you
this.
share?
It's only letting me share the PowerPoint.
If you do new share, right? Like, yeah,
Okay. I go into this and do new share.
yes, into that new page.
All right. So the beauty of Canva is you can have all your stuff in here. I tried to load my PowerPoint in here earlier. So let's do this. I got an offer accepted today. So if I want to do that, if I've already created something, you can make a copy of it, which is super, super easy. And then you just click on it, and then you can just change the name. And so these are the templates that I've talked about, like Ann can create them or you can just create them one time. Super easy. I mean, but this is like just, I added an element, which was a text box, changed the font. And see these, you can rotate them. Super easy. So if you want to load an actual photo. Oh, this may not be my computer, so it might be hard to do, but you can upload a photo directly from your computer. Say I just wanted to switch out the house. You can switch out the house. If you don't like how it fits, there's 2 of those on there. You can slide it in differently, like this. You can make it fit. I mean, that's like 2 seconds, so easy. Say you want to create something from scratch. You just go up here to create a design. I do everything squared like an Instagram post because I don't want to create something for Facebook and Instagram. I just want to do it one time. So I will always do an Instagram post. And so say I wanted to, so one cool thing about Canva is there's a ton of templates in here. See how like this one has a cell phone on it. So say I wanted to find cell phone with picture. I wanted to use this template. I wanted to take that one out. I wanted to put in myself. I wanted to change the background. I wanted to add my logo. And I wanted to say some words.
Yeah, Darby, is that the free one or is that the one?
I have the professional one, but everything I just did on here, you could do in the free one. And so then say, I don't like that font. Remember we talked about all my brand stuff is in here. So I love Brittany. My brand colors are up here on top. So I select my brand colors. I make it bigger. I rotate it. I move it. Super easy. And this literally, I mean, and when you do this, the cool thing about it is, I mean, it looks like somebody created this for you. And if you think about the image that you want to portray, doesn't matter if you have 20 years of experience in the business, but if you're packaging your information in a really professional way, you look like a pro. So super easy. Questions? We've had Canva classes, haven't we, Jana?
Yeah, it's been a while though.
Yeah, maybe we should do another Canva class.
I asked Ann to do one
Mhm.
because I want to learn the, what is it called, animation.
Yeah, and I don't do a ton with animation, but I will say, yeah, here's an example. I will show you an example of something that Ann has templated for me. My buyer guides and everything are in here. So these are my sold postcards. These are templated. So, you know, you pick, I actually need to do one. So here, we'll actually design one. So this is the house. If you even need to edit your images, you can in Canva, so you can adjust your filters in here. You can, so on this, you would just change out the address. Super easy. And then you download it as a PNG. If you use Vistaprint, you upload it directly to Vistaprint. If you pulled your mailing list from Realist, you've already got it all in there. And it takes you just like a couple of minutes to send out your sold postcards for your farm. And the backs of mine are all the same too. And again, they're in here too. So for like my farms, there's no other sold postcard. So like, this is one of my postcard backs that I use. But I mean, again, you can really do everything in Canva. So this is what I send out when I sell a house. If it's a city that I don't do a tenant, I'll put neighborhood, but you know, I have one that says Carrollton. You can change it out. Super easy.
So what is the Pro app that this one doesn't?
It just has access to all the images, basically every feature that's in it you can use. You know, it just, more templates, more photos, more fonts, that kind of stuff. Because like you'll be limited on your fonts if you don't have the Pro package. But you know, the cool thing is in Canva, you can even upload fonts that they don't have, you know, so that that one, my old cursive font, and I just switched to a new one. But here, let me find that brand package in here for you. So here's the brand kit. Remember I showed you guys this? So if I had new logos, it can detect the fonts, detect everything, and it automatically pulls your colors out that you should use. It's so easy. I'm telling you, if you don't have a logo, and we'll design one for $300, it's the best $300 you've ever spent. And when you do it, she will give you all of your colors with the color codes, your font files, everything.
Do you pick the colors or the shoe or what? How do you?
I mean, it's your logo.
I know.
Yeah, you decide. Yeah.
But we can use any color of Keller Williams.
There are branding guidelines with the Keller Williams, and she is the expert on that. But you know, you don't want Keller Williams to stand out more than your stuff. So obviously, like your bright color would be in your logo, but then like you may outline it in black or gold or gray or something like that. It's just a complimentary accent.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I would definitely get with her. And I know, you know, like when you're first starting, $300 seems like a lot of money. You will use it on everything. Your logo is really, really important.
You go to KW Connect, that's where you can find all of our logos that are legal to use.
Or if you know, right now you don't have the money to pay her to design one in Canva yourself.
Yeah.
Because you can even go, let's go back into here. I literally do everything in Canva.
I did my first one off of Fiverr.
That's what it was.
I mean, I didn't have a lot of money, so Fiverr, somebody across the pond creates one for you. I think I got it for $15 total.
But see, like here, if you just search logo templates in Canva, and these are lovely, you know? So you could go do this and say, you know, like I wanted this to be my logo. I could change the size if I wanted it to be on one line. If say I didn't like the brown, I could make it my navy blue. I could change all of this. I don't really like that, you know, so say I just like that, but I wanted something inside of it. I could do, you go and search in your elements, you set scroll in here. Say I wanted something scrollish or, I wanted it to be like maybe gold. And then I wanted to put KW on it. long as it's 50% of the size, you're in compliance. But I mean, you could go in there and just play around with what's in there. So if you don't have, if you don't have the budget to get in to help you with a more custom reading, just go to Canva. You don't even have to have a paid account to do this. So. Any other questions? Okay, so before we go, are we all doing the 30-day social challenge?
Okay, but wait, hold on. Just so it's clear, we are a team. They each have to do it.
That's up to you. Because Jeannie's the boss, right?
No, I have to do it.
That's up to you guys, however you decide it. So you guys do this 30-day challenge, and then let's stay in touch. And we can always do a part 2 after the 30 days. If we want to come back and say, okay, during the 30 days, I really struggled with stories.
What works, what didn't.
Yeah, what works, what didn't. So maybe we just do kind of like a mastermind after our 30-day challenge.
Like it.
You guys like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'll do, I know we have a few people watching, but if we also have some people that want to get in on it, we can always share the video on the page, share this, which again, this came from our marketing concierge. We have this stuff for our agents. Let's all get on the 30-day challenge and let's see where we're at in a month, and then we'll come up with topics for our next get together. Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I guess it's your.
And I'll hang out if anybody has any specific questions.
Working with that, I just wanna send to you.
Okay.
It's much, very great.
Because I've got it on electronic.
Great.
Well, if you're in person and stuff like that. Hold on, sis. Occasionally I go off of myself.
It has to be who you are.
You like it? Good. That's your thing, awesome.
Wish they would have asked me for that. I would have
You want to
just
hear
your money, I'm aware.
And she, what time she usually here, Jeannie, like 8:30?
I've always been in classes.
Yeah, but I would pop down and see her, because in the morning, that's usually when she's super fresh and ready to roll too.
We feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, anything we,
I think,
takes her 2 minutes to do everything. She's super fast. Nice to meet you. Glad you're here.
Thank you, Darby. Do you want to talk to her?
Hi, happy birthday.
I want to. So, Facebook has two part or two section is personal and business. We have one, we divided our personal or business.
So the first thing you'll need to do is create your personal account. And then once you do that, create a business page.
So my question is only one bit, once Facebook.
Right.
You can divide it.
Yes, and it has business options within
Okay.
the one.
I see.
Yes.
I am the older guy and I always dislike the social media.
Yeah.
But now I'm changing.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna do
and you don't need to
something
do all of
different.
those. You don't have to do all
No,
of them.
I only want to do Facebook and I want to concentrate on the Facebook.
Perfect.
And I learned a lot about your class today. That was a really good job you did.
Oh, thank you.
And you look like Kelly Carson on your show, on the pictures.
I do.
Didn't I tell you that?
No,
Thank you very much.
I've gotten appearing one, like in Firestarter. When I was a little girl, I looked just like
Oh,
she in
you look like
Firestarter.
Gosh, that's actually really good.
Hey, personality, right?
Yes, well, thank you.
Thank you, good
You
job.
bet, you bet.
I know you cover it, but I can't remember what it was. Do you post the same time every day?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I do a lot, like around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but I was telling them, I think it was before you got here. I am trial and error because right now I'm just trying to figure out when my people are online.
Okay.
And I've been doing some stuff like at night.
You go on?
Like I schedule everything, but like when I do it, like I found 7 o'clock at night.
I'm
That's
good.
Facebook and Moving, huh?
I think you just, it's trial and error.
I'm in the stuff.
It's painful.
Jeff, thanks for coming to the lead generation this morning. Appreciate you. Yes, you as well.
I might have to show you online because I don't want to log in on this, but basically, if you, you know how you go into the publishing tools? You can see what your engagements look like on that main screen. Just look at how many people are opening it and the time they're posting it. That's kind of what I've been doing, just to kind of trial and error.
But you schedule it like same time every day and then you just.
I schedule it at different times.
I just mean like when you go in to upload it, you schedule it, you're doing the uploading right every day.
No, I do it once a month. I schedule a month at a time.
Okay.
It takes me like 2 or 3 hours. At first, it would take me a whole day. And it would take me a little less time, but I just kind of have all my stuff ready to roll. And then I usually create all the images I want to create first, then I save them, and then I write the captions as I start.
Which is corner when you walked in.
And I use a paper calendar.
We just got.
Or write what I'm gonna do, and I.
It actually went really well.
What was it like? You were not here.
That was really good.
Hey, you're gonna be the next TikTok sensation.
Maybe, so, my wife asked me the other day, she's like, do you have TikTok? She heard about that. She's a teacher, so she heard that, and I was like.
She threw it in the bag and sorted it.
I've tried to totally got social
That's
media.
right. I knew there was.
Well, and that's the sad thing about this business, is that totally.
I just had a very.
I don't wanna,
Conversation.
I wanna be off.
I was very
Yeah.
vulnerable with some of my
I'm glad someone else, because I'm like, because
get over. And
I came from being a marketer for
kind of had them
like
off.
Okay.
social
Or
work,
so they did.
all that, that basically like I got to the point
Pretty much
like,
looking at
I was like, I'm just gonna rebel against my generation.
have to go back and get
Just
it.
go ghost on social. And that's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting
My
back
time
into
wouldn't
this, it's just like really hard.
Right.
Yeah.
because, You know.
Then I'd be working for some
Everything.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing, like, you know, if you're,
Not being
if you're
able to
watching
take
on
off
social,
weekends, so.
I mean.
she probably does more than you do.
Yeah, she more just looks at teacher videos and stuff.
Yeah,
and
where does she
stuff
teach?
Like Highlands
Oh,
Elementary.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
very cool. But I mean, you know, the thing is, like, you can create a personal page, you don't have to do a whole lot on there, just have her tag you and stuff, so, you know, it looks like you guys are living life.
Yeah.
You're not, but, and then just have a business page, you know, I mean,
Okay.
because you know, like, if you look at my stuff, like my business page, like, you know who I am on there, you know, but it's not,
I tell you what, I'm gonna be
it's not,
completely honest with you.
I don't
You know,
like-
I
I
know
just-
that my energy level.
separate, because I feel like if people
My ability.
wanna be a part of it,
Getting up there.
if they wanna be my friend,
But my
they may
energy
not
level
wanna
as
be
far
part
as
of
focusing
what I do
is
for
still not
business,
there.
but if they do, they have the option to.
Well,
That's why I invite everyone.
Yeah, well, it's getting better. It's just.
Well, the reason why
For-
my dog
For
told
like
me
me,
I
I
love
guess if I
you
used
for my
anything, it would be,
Because I kept saying,
I use Instagram more.
Gotcha.
And he
So should I
goes,
do a business
it's not good, we'll be
there
doing
too, or
morning
just
and do-
start?
I would just have an,
Sprinkling
just
it
have an
in.
Instagram, because I feel like with Instagram, that platform will
Yeah,
turn
take one in the
into,
morning.
you know what I
Right.
mean? And, because I feel like your main thing, you post things like a prettier Canva e-post could be about business, but you know, share your behind the scenes of what you're doing. You
But I
know, like
think a
you
lot of
guys are,
it is
if you
also
guys like to
because
go to dinner.
I
or
just
like
had my
to
idea
foodies
to
like
like
restaurants, like, you know, just take a
Friday,
selfie,
Friday and
take a
Saturday.
picture of the food.
So
You
there's
know,
like
you
a.
know, all kinds of stuff.
we
Because I
can
think one
paint
thing
it.
about it is just that,
No,
like, it's not just houses, you can post about local.
And even though I
things,
feel
you know,
like, yeah, I
talk about restaurants, you
you
talk
know,
about
my
where
brain's
a great
really
place to go
talking
hike
about
is, like where
it.
stuff like that is.
Okay.
So, does that make sense?
So, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah, it
just
does. It's just,
sympathizing with
it's-
you that
it's-
if I was in your position, I would have not been able.
I guess it's difficult trying to like switch back to thinking about all
Yeah.
that. And
2
put-
days in a row.
And it doesn't have to be like, there are some people that don't do a ton of it, so you just have to figure out what is your alternative, you know? And like I said, I have tried to not.
Like Fridays.
Maybe I just don't do this, but like I feel like it is critical to my business.
I like square. I have to go right there.
And I think.
The oval one gets with the square
I feel
one
the same
gets.
way, I feel like it, moving forward, it is
So,
critical.
yeah.
Hey, can we shoot for some time next week?
And we're just
Just
gonna push
for
for
the
the
three.
metaverse and all that kind of stuff, that's way far.
Because I'll be already
Yeah.
Not
here.
all at the same time.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, but I mean,
It's
it
like
is a
you
lot,
have to-
well, and you're trying to learn all this stuff and do all these things, and it's like,
Yeah.
at what's the best place to do it? And I just feel like this is the best way to reach the most people the quickest. So cool. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
And let me know if you need anything
Thank you
else.
for the
And
class.
30-day challenge.
Okay, I'll try and do it, yeah.
Do it.
I will.
You can do it after
So,
this thing. right
my
before
question
coaches
is,
Sure.
my favorite color is gold.
Yeah.
I know this sounds stupid, but I almost didn't go with Keller Williams because I hate red so bad.
Do you see any red in any of my stuff?
No, but so that's what I was,
Yeah,
my
that's what I told her. Have you
question.
seen the luxury signs? There's no red in those either. They're usually gold.
I like a golden white girl.
Yeah, I like
Anyway, my question to you is that you didn't, I love that you didn't use it. But do you feel like it's hurt you any not having the statement, the signature red?
No, because I mean, people still know I'm with Keller Williams, you know, and it's because you're selling you, like, when people choose to work with you, I mean, Keller Williams is a great company. They're not choosing to work with Keller Williams, they're choosing to work with you.
Exactly.
Right? And you being with Keller Williams means that you have all of those accolades, the reputation of the company on your back.
Right.
But they're not working with you because you're with Keller Williams.
We're
They're working
expecting
with
the
you
night
because they
terrors.
trust you to do the job for them.
My son
Speaking
had
of
them.
all the
Right when he
accolades,
turned
reputation
two.
and all that of this office,
And,
is there
we
something
preemptively
that's
got
printed
a
up
really
that we could
soft
add that to
red
our
light
listing
that kind of rotates
packet
the
or
colors
our,
very gently.
our buyer's packet that said, because I don't have a lot of experience
Yeah.
close about.
Add night
So do
terrors
That's
to
a
that,
data question, I think.
but we're
Do we
kind of
have something
expecting them
that I
since
could say?
Miles had them.
I don't know.
Yeah, would you?
Jana might know.
Crying
know
and
that
shrieking.
The,
That lasted for about
like,
6 months.
how much we sold the whole year,
Yeah.
over $1 million.
Blanket.
Would you like- would you if I was you?
I would like to have something like that.
I would email
Too
Suze
much. We
and I
haven't
would
tried
just say,
that.
hey, I'm looking for something that shows
Gonna try. that.
everything, all the recognitions
Right
of
now,
Keller
she's
Williams that we
like-
can utilize in our marketing materials. Do you have that?
So we're lucky on
And
that.
because even if they don't have it, she put it together. for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, because as a new agent, I think
Last
that's
night,
just
both
gonna
my
go,
wife and
I think so too.
look more.
Because we, I would like, and I was
She's,
saying
did I tell you
something
she got a
to
promotion?
her about,
No, she didn't.
like
She's
Bob
getting an extra
Baker, like
$500
I'd like
a
to
month
have his
for a
bio,
position that she's
because
getting
he's part of the
Getting
team.
out of.
Yeah,
Keller
outbound
Williams. So I'd like to
outside
put him
client
and
Face-to-face
the
work.
people that
Like,
Now
this
she's
is
gonna
why
be-
you wanna use Keller Williams
Right.
Plano,
We
not
have
Keller
this-
Williams Dallas.
Yeah.
this is who
That
we
will
have on
work.
our team, and I need that.
Because now
Well, the
she's
other
gonna be
thing that
working
you have
with
to
her
remember, so like,
coworkers as
so
an
for me,
analyst
I have
to be able to
I have
help them
Amy who does my
sales
client care.
presentation.
I have Teresa that helps with the show, but I also have, I use Erin. So you better believe Erin's in my listing packet as my listing, the listing coordinator for the office.
Still the same thing.
She's in my packet as my
Just
listing
now
coordinator.
internal instead
Trey's in
of
the packet as
external.
my photographer.
And
Ann is in the packet as my marketing person. And my transaction
I already
coordinator's in
told
the
you about
packet as my
offer
transaction
that I got
coordinator.
already.
So I look like I have a big team.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and that's what I'm
that's what
looking
we
forward
need.
to something, because I look like a nobody, because I am nobody.
Well, but you can't think that.
Yeah.
You're not a nobody, change that name,
Nobody
yeah, we've
knows
talked about
that.
this.
But, so when I'm in front of a client and they're like, well, how much experience do you have? And I say, well, my team, here's my information on my
No, no,
team.
you tell
Or
them
just
how
say-
much sales
But
experience.
here's the thing, like,
Exactly.
so you're part of the collective we, right?
Yeah,
So,
You can use ours.
yeah, our office has blah, 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 blah.
yeah, that's.
You know, and that's how you have to say it, but I do think, Jana, one thing they asked for, and if we don't have it, we should definitely create this, and maybe especially through the coaching program. They're asking for, do we have like a one pager on all of KW Plano's accolades? Like, we sold X billion last year.
Yeah, I just think it'd be nice for like my listing
But-
packet or my buyer's packet to. put
The
that-
hard part is putting that all on one page, because
Right.
we have so
We
much.
don't have to have it.
Yeah, it doesn't have
But
to be
but
on
if it
one
was
page.
just like a highlights kind of thing, because I think what they're saying is, you know, as newer agents, they feel like they don't have the experience to back it up, but if that was something they could speak to,
Yeah.
like our office,
Um,
like the collective we kind of
I
thing.
say somebody said they were working on that, and I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I would love to have something
Like
like.
just in the
that.
24
Because
hours, I
what
talked to
you're-
somebody about something like that.
But so when I first started, I was on a team, right? And my team, they were like top 1% in DFW, all, like they'd won every award known to man. You better believe, like when I went on a listing appointment, I talked about, we had blah, blah, blah.
But I would love to have something that brags about our office.
Yeah,
And
we
it
need
sets us
that.
aside from Plano,
Down the
Dallas.
street.
or-
yeah. Yeah, that's something that
Well,
the staff would have to do. I think
Yeah,
that'd be pretty
we
easy.
have abilities to do things similar to that idea.
I'm sure it was amazing. How was it?
And we had a full house.
Good, I bet.
Was anybody on
Were we on
Zoom?
Zoom too?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, Tawana, I know some Paris people were.
Well, I know we wanted the Paris people on.
So one thing that came from
They're
this is
like
we're gonna
18 or
do a
20.
30-day challenge. And we're gonna come back in 30 days and mastermind how it went.
On how to go brand themselves.
Yeah, on social media.
Yeah, good.
Just like what worked, what didn't work, what do we need more information on? I think that's a great thing to do.
I think it
Cameras
was
work.
fabulous.
Yeah, it
Oh,
really
yeah,
is.
it's working. You're on there.
Hey, I'm
Hey,